G'day friends and fans. Welcome to Dave Talks Off. I'm your host, the author, David Applegate. Today we're discussing women being angry. Specifically, those who are angry because red pill is waking men up. We have a fine collection of peaches today.
With the way men are talking to women these days.
Oh, it's the red pill content, and it's now so officially widespread and unavoidable that whilst it was originally aimed at people in like their 20s and high school, middle school years, it's reached people in their 30s and 40s, and I want to talk about it today because I've started to notice it too. Although in fairness, it really started to pick up and gain traction around like 10 years ago, so males in their 20s are now in their 30s and approaching their 40s, and this is how you ruin entire generations and spans of males and dating for everyone. And if you're not familiar with red pill content, it's a lot of things now, but originally started as like male, like gym bro influencers trying to...
Nope. The red pill content started with a online phenomenon around conspiracy theories. Taking the red pill was a challenge, a dare to be exposed to the truth. I know because for years I made red pill content. I started making red pill content over 9 years ago on BitChute and still have most of my content because over the years that, of course, a lot, even BitChute, man, there are so many people out in the world who get offended, get angry, but the vast majority of my content, I have over 1,000 videos of red pill content. I have years of red pill content. And no, gym bros were late to the party, but yes, they took over the manosphere for a while. And that is their right. See, this is what most people don't get about feminism. They don't care about your rights. They only care what they can get off you.
Like teach beta males how to get women, but they would teach
the threes be angry again.
Teach them all the wrong things so that they never actually got women and they would be...
Well, that's true. There are a lot of pickup artists who do not teach you how to get women because they want you to buy their dating course. But however, if you look around, there's way too many single mothers to say that they're completely unsuccessful. Yeah. Betas. Yeah. Look at the
continually reliant on their channels and they made money forever. But a huge problem with that, besides the fact that men are literally just keeping each other down, is that women also have to deal with the outcomes of this. Because it's
the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
It's teaching them to treat women like garbage and apparently...
Actually, they're not. Pickup artists teach you how to be a simp because women like this are sexual predators. They only want to use you. They are toxic people who only want to use you. So, what do you say to women like this?
Oh, shut up! Oh.
Lots of red pill guys are men who were oblivious. They were taught to be nice to women until they got their heart broken. They saw that the bad guys get the women they were nice to and then they become red pill. If your kindness towards women was entirely dependent on whether they were willing to sleep with you, you were already a bad guy. You didn't need...
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for for having a raisin for a brain.
Creates weak men.
Say more.
Because what it does is it teaches them how to select terrible women. It teaches them have lots of money and you'll get lots of girls. Have a young girl that's half your age, that's what you want. These women are just there for lifestyle. Of course they're going to cheat on you. Treat them mean, keep them keen. Basically attract a broken woman. Have a woman with no standards, who loves lifestyle, is a bimbo, doesn't intellectually challenge you. That's the woman you should be with. What is this?
Emotional, damn it!
You know, this is the conversation women over 35 had. Oh no, you don't want a young bimbo who can breed. You want me, the empty egg basket, because I'm an intellectual. I'm a high value women. She wants you to be.
You know what? I'm happy.
Nonsense. How are you going to create a marriage out of that? That's what they teach them. Red pill content.
Yeah, Candace Owens is a grifter if you haven't figured that out.
That really shocked me. I've known red pill content is out there. I've known it's super harmful and toxic, and the algorithm pushes this content to young men. I know.
Emotional, damn it!
Oh, the brainwashing of an entire generation of men is by design. And as a former middle school teacher, I mentioned how I observed.
So, a teacher who does what? Teaches propaganda for the state, teaches feminism, is upset that men don't want her brainwashing, don't want her emotional damage. We're walking away from you because you are nothing but a bundle of sour grapes.
A rise in aggressive behavior and misogyny in boys. So all that.
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
That said, I'm actually so frustrated with myself that it's taken me this long to listen to some of it, and it's too easy to find. As parents, if we don't know what the messaging is, like the actual words used, the ideas carefully and casually woven into conversations.
That is you! When men do not manipulate like women do, they tell you the truth. This is not casually manipulating women with carefully crafted scripts. That is you! You are denying, and you are agitating, you are trying, right? You tried to deny red pill, you tried to deflect it, and you tried to project your own vile onto this. Now you're moving on to the attack part, because that is what you are. You are a spoilt child who did not get her, who thinks she has to get her way all the time. That is what a feminist is. It is a spoilt brat who needs to hurt others to make her feel self better. And today her target is the red pill. Look at the gold chain. That's your school teacher's salary, everyone. Gold chains for thee, but not for... So, yes, status, advertising. You are looking at toxic, predatory behavior.
between alpha males on mics, encouraging misogyny, shame, and hatred. We'll never know how to respond if and when it comes up. So as hard as it is to hear, if you're raising a boy, you need to. From a
Emotional, damn it!
transcript of a very popular manosphere podcast.
So see, straight away, the podcast, the manosphere.
Yeah, women do have it easy. I think being a female would be a disaster. If you're a beautiful female, you get some advantages in life. Of course you do, because beauty is currency.
Yes, and you know that. Advertising your wealth, just enough to say, look, I'm high status. Advertising your beauty, you have your asymmetric dress showing off your, just enough so that men won't think you're complete and utter garden tool, but you're advertising the tatas. You are trying to also, you're portraying false modesty, because red projects excitement, viva. So the one who was carefully crafted here is you, madam. But we all know what she wants. She wants money, and she's gonna eat meat to get it.
But the idea of actually living life as a female, there's no conquest. You get a guy, you love your guy, maybe. You get some nice meals and buy a handbag, get pregnant, the end. No
And I'm still waiting for the bad part.
Conquest, no domination. So being a female would suck.
Right, so from a male perspective, yes, living as a woman would suck.
communicates that women have no value other than their looks, almost as though women should be pitied.
And how do women tear each other down again? Their looks, particularly their weight, their shoes, oh yes, and their status, right? Oh, absolutely. A lot of women got pregnant just because their favourite star got pregnant. So don't tell me you're high value when you're nothing but, oh, look at the expensive ring. Oh, she's definitely, I want to be a kept woman, everyone. Please, six-figure me up. And then give me an expensive handbag on the side, and I'll let you see the other shoulder. She's advertising she's a mummy. So she's letting you all know that she's done it before. But look at her, with her narrow hips. You really think she's a mummy, or she's a manipulator? Well, she could still be a mummy. She's one of those. Look at that. She's actually advertising a tummy, too.
Are fully incapable, serving only the purpose of procreate. Podcaster continues, as a man, you get to build.
Yes! That is exactly. We eat, we shit, we sleep, basically you are trying to create this over-sophistication, right? Life is this big intellectual pursuit to acquire all this knowledge. But what do you do with it? Men build. What do? You manipulate. That's what you do.
Build your character, and that's what's so good about being a man. As a woman, you're born either with value or without value. A bit of makeup can change it or not. A whole
And what is she wearing?
generation of men have been raised without being prepared for war. Life is a
Correct. Life got too easy. Men were not prepared for conflict. Women created that conflict, and men were unprepared. Red Pill is, however, born originally out of how deceptive self-serving and corrupt. The government was so obviously corrupt that millions were calling out elections as fake. Millions left California because the majority's voice was silenced time after time by shredders, allegedly. This was the allegations. Now, allegations could have been put to rest with thoughtful, well-meaning, transparent, and in-depth investigations and interviews, documenting everything, putting the public institutions on public trial, having people express their opinions and have their fears alleviated or deal with the problem. Instead, it was deny, attack, play the victim, and then ultimately say you're a misogynist, a sexist, a sore loser, when in fact what we have right before us is indeed exactly that. One cannot help but dislike her nosy attitude, her snootiness.
War for resources. It's a war for females. It's a war for attention.
Yes, it is competition. Women have an aggressive sexual drive. They mask it under a layer of false insecurity. There they go, oh, I'm so pretty. Oh, pity me. Buy me this handbag. Because passive-aggressive doesn't get you attacked or hit in the face. Women have built up a genetic memory to behave in certain situations in certain ways. And men, when they're increasingly aggressive, women do tend to be afraid, but they provoke men, so they have these particular emotions. See, the problem is women seem to be hardwired to constantly test men's emotional stability, right? And this is probably because over the course of many thousands of years, women's behavior drove men to emotional instability. There is they're making sure that when you go out, you're going to come back. But instead of being warm and welcoming, they're increasingly spiteful because they are twisted by women who constantly give other women bad advice to degrade the pool, because increasingly women have deluded themselves that the only way to succeed is to wait at the finish line for the high-value men. So they put on their gold chains, they put on their red dress, they open up their legs and do the old lips as much as they can. Right? They grow their hair out. Okay, and at least she's washed it and she hasn't dyed it yet. But they put on the makeup, they deceive you into believing that they're high value. You know, I'm a mother of boys. She didn't say she was a married woman, and she's advertising she's not. Right? She's advertising her ability to manipulate so that she would be picked up by a fellow sociopath, right? She's trying to attract someone of her same mental status, because she thinks, right, that's their retirement plan, that's all they care about.
A war for domination, and as a man, you have to establish yourself in a hierarchy of men.
Correct. Women do this to each other too. It's called the pecking order. And the cluckers, or the mean girls, establish themselves very quickly as the dominant herders And this is what and the Mean Girls have found power in feminism. This is why men rarely want to date female influencers. This is why you have female influencers who are increasingly complaining they can't find a man. Because a lot of these female influencers are way overpaid, and we all know what they're really selling. But even what they sell, I mean, fine wine is, yes, fine wine, but you don't drink it when it becomes vinegar. And she is increasingly
emotional, damn it.
Vinegar.
Conveyed here is a really toxic idea, instilling that men need to live their lives in hyper-competitive mode.
Why? Brings out the competition, brings out the best. Right? Obviously, you're educated, so you think, no, we want a collective. That's, again, it comes down to feminism is communism in a dress. So not only is she trying to give other women bad advice, she's trying to advertise herself to men of high value. At the same time, she's trying to attack red pills so that she doesn't... she's trying to get rid of the PUAs. And she doesn't understand, right? The PUAs will watch her video, study her behaviour, right? Mimic the behaviour that she thinks she wants, and when she responds positively, it's... yeah, and she's been a victim before of predatory sexual behaviour. But just because you're a victim of predatory sexual behaviour does not mean you have the right to become a predatory manipulator because you want men to be unhappy.
That's the only way they're going to succeed, by beating and knocking others down. Being any...
That's you. Most men don't succeed by knocking each other down. Tearing each other's down, what you mean girls do. See, this is, again, a good telltale sign. See, people always use analogies that are familiar, that are comfort. And look at how proud she is. She thinks she's absolutely clever. Just got to remember.
You ain't first, you're last.
She's over 35, used a garden tool, trying to pretend she's all that. I wish I could highlight the fact that blue is her leg, right? She's moved it. Before she had a leg up, okay? You could see her leg, her jeans.
Being less than a leader, a winner, alpha, meaning having empathy, emotions, or a nurturing...
See, there it is. I want you to be a male feminist. She wants you to be...
You know what? I'm happy.
Spirit means you're what they call a beta or a soy boy and all...
Correct. You're an emotional... What is she describing? She's describing...
emotional, damn it.
Why is she doing that? Because she's tearing people down. That's what she's doing. She's tearing the leadership. She's showing the 1% that she is willing to tear men down so that they can keep succeeding. Because remember, there are mean girls and there are mean boys. Mean boys are the ones that do toxic behaviour. But she's aware of this. She's manipulating the audience. it's working. Right? Anyone with over 10K is almost successful on TikTok, because you pretty much have to wait for the people at the top. You know, right? We have to wait for the big influencers to be gone.
Kinds of other derogatory terms. Instead of encouraging boys,
encouraging and nurturing, so they are.
You know what? I'm happy.
to seek community and lean into their authenticity. Boys are told here they should fear or deny having any trait we traditionally assign to women or femininity. Truly going
feminine. She's feminizing boys. This is what the cult is taught to do, to feminize boys.
Backwards in time. He finishes.
No, we're not going backwards in time. We are erasing your toxic behavior, your emotional manipulation, your toxic behavior. Right? Why do we want men who can lead? Men who lead, organize, build, create companies, structures, societies. Emotional empathy does not build a community of warm-hearted people. It produces a community of constantly whining, bitter people where nothing is ever good enough. Embracing your emotions over and over and over again creates
emotional damage.
It's tiring to be constantly this mentally ill. She's not as grand as, say, the people at the No Kings parade, but I'm pretty sure she was probably there.
You have to find a way to fight and compete. You have to do your best with what you've got. That's the game.
Yes, do your best. That is obviously what everybody has to do. Why? Because bettering yourself, no, she wants to better society. That's commie talk for you have to work hard and be a slave to the state, while us couch sitters, us educators. Yeah, that is a leg, by the way. So yes, yeah. I wonder if, as she's recording this, is that a remote? I wonder. Is that a remote or she's her phone?
Either you sit there and jerk blank or cry. The scary thing is I just picked out the problematic parts. They're embedded in with such casual.
Not problematic. Problematic, folks. She's using all the buzzwords. Misogyny, problematic, empathy. I'm surprised she hasn't brought out the greed or brought up international standards and norms, international law. I guess that's was only today's buzzword. I'm sure she has plenty of them.
And normalcy in conversation. Indoctrination at its best. I know
that's you. You're the indoctrinator. Feminism is the indoctrination.
Really hard to hear, and it's really hard.
No, it's not. See, it's hard to hear. She's trying to portray that anyone who does not listen to her, oh, you're just stubborn. It's hard to hear, I know, but it's the truth. I swear it's the truth. Society isn't collapsing. Ignore all the lunatics rioting in the streets. Ignore the tens of thousands of people with murderous intent who descend on Florida every year and go on benders and rampages. No. Ignore the excessive crime rate in blue cities. No. or in most big cities. No, that's got nothing to do with it. No, ignore all that. It's just a lack of empathy. It's a hard... But the red pill's to blame, everyone. I swear.
To face, I'm right there with you, but we have to get a precise understanding of what our kids are going to be exposed to on social media.
So you can prepare yourself to block, manipulate, and stifle them.
And from peers. This type of rhetoric targets vulnerable boys who are...
Yeah, wonder why they're not vulnerable. They're aware that you're full of shit, that you're a selfish feminizer. And you want to make all boys little soft and cuddly toys so that you can manipulate them into spending their lives savings and their lives at work, making sure that you have expensive jewelry, such as the gold around your neck, the gold on your hands, so you can sit on the comfy chair and have your legs spread for every Tyrone that come through your front door saying, where the white women at?
Are feeling lonely and isolated and unwanted. That's why I say it's being done by design.
No, you are by design. Everything about you is an emotional manipulation.
Look,
strong
we're
woman.
not asking
I thought you were a strong
look,
woman.
I hope you guys have a really good day. I'm leaving.
Hold on.
No.
That was me in the video.
Bad guy falls in poop. Classic element of physical comedy. Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready? Ready!
So, you were humiliated on Fresh and Fit. What's a Fresh and Fit? Sorry.
Really good day. I'm leaving.
Hold on.
No.
That was me.
You guys have a really good day. I'm leaving.
Whatever.
No.
That was me in the video. And men wonder why there is a male...
No, there is not a male loneliness epidemic. That is a creation of the media and feminists to manipulate boys. You are.
You was crying like a pussy. Yeah.
loneliness epidemic. Back in May, I was in a room with these people for hours while they insulted and degraded me. While they're
emotional, damn it!
No, you kept interrupting the host, and he tried to reclaim his time, and you had a hissy fit, and you weren't there for hours. You were probably waiting a couple of minutes. You got on. You probably had a little discussion, pre-show discussion. You had your talking points walked out, but you wouldn't shut up. You kept interrupting the host. And then when he just said, no, I'm treating you the same, I'm treating you equal, and what happens? You had a hissy fit.
Their audience sent in chat messages about how much they hate me and
well, yeah. Right? When you try to degrade and humiliate men, yes, young men tend to be more emotional in their response. Instead of being mature, your ego exploded.
Want to me. And the worst part is every time I make a video telling my story, there then is an influx of hatred.
Really? I don't see an influx of hatred right there. See, look at that. Where's the influx of hatred?
From their audience. And I can
Emotional, damn it!
certainly say from that experience, after being made to cry for hours and then wake up with my face.
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
So she had a psychological breakdown from facial paralysis because she had a tantrum because she didn't get away.
Paralyzed from the stress of the experience a week later, because I would say in the past I have been immunocompromised and had some health issues that I did not want to disclose and still
Emotional, damn it!
I'm not going to fully disclose, that men are not lonely enough. And the sad thing is that the
Now we get to it. Her hatred on full display. You're not lonely enough. Okay? We know.
You was crying like a pussy. Yeah.
And now comes the manipulation. She wants to degrade the dating pool. She wants men to suffer because she is an emotionally unstable psychopath.
audience of these men, they really fundamentally, at the core of their being, they want to be chosen by women.
That's the point, isn't it? That's what we do. Have you ever been to a dance? Have you ever watched a real historical drama? Have you ever read Jane Austen? Men would announce their intent to a woman for thousands of years and then have to go almost through ritual abuse to prove worthy of marriage. But once that process was over, right, it was, yeah. But increasingly, women realized that they could have more than one man. And so...
Emotional, damn it!
And they aren't, and that's what makes them hate women.
No, they don't hate women. Most men hate your behavior, hate you blaming them all the time, hate the shaming, the ridicule, the abuse, the telling men they're not lonely enough, right? Instead of targeting the individuals who hurt you, you want to target all men. And that is toxic behavior. That is...
Kids, the Royal Order of Sour Grapes for having a raisin for a brain.
I guess I would say about this experience that if you're a woman, you have a young brother or a son, please prevent them from falling down the pipeline and watching this type of content.
Every day for the past 30 years, you high-heeled pit bulls have blamed us for everything. From not being able to get into Harvard to not being able to get into stretch pants.
Yet the reality is, right, she should not be listened to. She is trying to censor you. She's trying to take away your freedom of choice, your freedom of rights to make up your own mind. And this is why women financially punish men for walking away from them, but they also create a system that financially rewards them from walking away from you at the same time. It's a double-edged sword. Divorce, it benefits women. And yet they keep saying it's a patriarchy. Oh, you're going to cry? Because he interrupted her. Yeah, so he was rude. Whatever. Okay? You knew it was going to be rude. And you just dug in your heels and gave him exactly what he wanted. Content. An angry, bitter piece of emotional damage. And all I can say is to you and all these other fine peaches,
Shut up!
men, red pill is many things to many men. But when you look up red pill, you get the metaphor from the Matrix. Okay, its origin in the Matrix was actually whether or not it was from that movie that has been widely debated, but it's become a metaphor used for taking the red pill, for facing an uncomfortable truth, for reality. The manosphere has adopted the red pill metaphor, but its usage in many terms is red pill influences talk about a radical shift, right? Taking the red pill. What was your red pill moment? A lot of people won't talk about it, but a lot of people say, don't want to tell who hurt them and in what context. For me, wasn't once but twice. The first time I thought it was just, poor choice. I didn't vet enough. And the second time, no, it was quite obvious that society has encouraged and encourages, and other women encourage other women to, when a man is at his peak financial value, to fake victimhood, to elicit sympathy in court, and to take you for everything. And the laughter, well, I was bankrupted and I had nothing to take. Not once but twice. First time I was bankrupted by my government, and I went my wife had left me, and she had not paid her taxes, and they made me responsible for her, $15,000 plus other things, plus penalties and so-called interest over a few years, apparently. So, which is your biggest belief, but so 2009, they hit me for a bill of over $300,000. Then my bankruptcy was suddenly ended, and I went and got married in 2012, and by 2015 was divorced again and back where I started. But see, I never recovered from the bankruptcy. I had an accident. My leg was broken. I was unable to be employed. So, joke's on her. She left me because, I wasn't good enough. And, well, this is where male competition comes from, is women who don't believe you're good enough unless you're constantly proving yourself. It is women who create this mess in their constant desire to be taken care of, to be constantly provided for, and they provide nothing. You ask a woman what she brings to the table, and she thinks, I'm all that. She doesn't bring any cooking, no cleaning, no skills, no business experience, nothing. And increasingly, men are becoming aware that dating is nothing but women sizing you up to see how they can control you and how much control they have. And the more control they have, the more they want to date you. But you already see that women, right, while there are male pickup artists, there are lots of women who are women often telling each other, the men can't be lonely enough. Crying's not a weakness, it's emotional processing. We endured so much. Misogyny is so destructive. Men aren't lonely enough. And the list goes on, right, of men devalue women. Women deserve better. Avoid red pill men when choosing dating. They don't respect you. Oh, red pill men aren't choosing you. Right. Newsflash. Right. Newsflash. Most men do finish last. Lots of red pill guys do say, and lots of men say, all the women, look around. There are way too many single mothers to say that women are not choosing the bad guy. Okay? They're choosing men who have no regard for them because they're exciting. They're exciting. He's a drug dealer. Oh, he's got money to spend. No. And the worst thing is they treat you as your children that have to be re-educated. And most of them are school teachers. So, yeah. And school teachers are one of the 5 professions you're told not to date. School teachers, nurses, female airline pilots, female truck drivers, and, of course, I know this is a cliche because it's a rarity, but never date a barmaid, okay? Not because they cheat. It's actually because a lot of them are drunks. A lot of them become barmaids to get free drinks. Okay, they can't get the free drinks off the men anymore, so they work at the bar to afford their alcoholism. So, and I'm not teaching you this to be a pickup artist. I'm teaching you this because so you know, right, when it comes to toxic behavior, women wear it on their sleeve. It's just whether or not you take the time to listen or, like increasingly number of men, walk away, right? Fool me once, shame on me. I'm not going to let you fool me twice. And women just don't get it. Right? They don't get why we walk away. They don't understand red pill. They just want to be angry because they're not getting their way. Because they are not being taken care of. We're not protecting them. So they want to hurt us. And governments are increasingly pandering to these emotionally damaged children for votes. And millionaires and billionaires who have ulterior motives are feeding them these scripts. Right? You keep forgetting the Jeffrey Epsteins of the world were not young average men, and you also forget 90% of abusers are foreigners, not Westerners. Look at the crime stats. Women don't want the truth, though, because they want their brown pants, they want their pity parties. Oh, we just made them that way. They're so bought into left-wing politics, there's no saving them. If someone cannot be told they're wrong, right, this is the greatest test in life. You find a controversial subject, you wait for it to come up, you point out when they're wrong, and see how they react. Most men, however, do not test relationships. You have to. Otherwise, if you're not weeding out the weeds, right? If you're not realizing that the grifters in MGTOW and Red Pill and the manosphere in general, the pickup artists are predatory behavior, just like feminists. They're both predators. They're both as bad as each other. Right? The toxic behavior, if you let it fester around you. Now, I'm not talking about pornography or that's your personal choice, or comic books or anything like that. I don't consider a man collecting anime figures or reading comics or looking at girly magazines to be toxic behavior. But you should realize there's enough content in the world and there's better content in the world. You don't need OnlyFans. OnlyFans is a big old scam, right? To take lots of your money in a short period of time. And increasingly toxic environments, breeding people to be emotional and show sympathy for, and they'll sit there and lecture you over and over and over again. And if you constantly allow someone to lecture you how bad you are and how miserable their life is and how you have to uplift them, yeah, they're going to turn you into a simp, into a white knight. That's all they do. Ladies learn this from each other. They talk constantly on how to. And this is why, again, ladies who do OnlyFans, talk to each other. They constantly, mimic each other. Right? They see someone successful in pink, they wear pink, right? They see somebody successful with a certain necklace, they buy it, right? This mimicking behavior, it's toxic. Because you never know you're going to get who you, right? And this is why men walk away, because you never know who you're going to get, because it's like dating an actress. But yeah, you never know who you're really going to get. So thank you all for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope I've explained why men are walking away, why these women are toxic, why these particular women with their attitude is the attitude, but is spreading because the people see these women as successful because they got 10,000, 200,000, 3,000 views. But what do they bring to the table? What do these what do these women bring? Nothing but complaining. Emotional damage. There's no value to that. Walk away. Make fun of it. Absolutely. I'm making fun of it. So that when you see it, you will not be immune to it. Because don't forget, men use these behaviors too. Right? If you don't learn to deal with these behaviors, men will use it on you. Emotional manipulation, reverse victimhood, deflection, denial, abuse. No one should put up with abuse. Unfortunately, far too often, we are being abused by our governments, by social media, by the hidden market forces, those who control the financial system, where they batter your wallet with fuel for $110 just because there's a war somewhere, even though the vast majority of fuel doesn't come from there. Okay? The majority of fuel coming, Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please support the channel. You can support me on Ko-Fi, Patreon, buy my books, buy my merch. I appreciate each and every one of you. See you in the next video, and bye for now.